But tell these guys out here, like I try to promote that they can do this stuff. I mean, this one job right here is paying more than most people make in 2 weeks. I mean, like if you had a regular, minimum wage job, $14 an hour or something. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we actually are going to take you guys out with us on a job, and we're going to show you, what we do every day. All right, so first thing real quick, I just want to go over my equipment with you guys just to show you, what we're working with. Now this trailer is pretty full with stuff, but I just want to eliminate a few things for you guys, okay? This right here is a 10-gallon minute machine underneath this hose here, okay? You guys don't need this. I hardly ever use it. This is the buffer tank for the 10-gallon per minute machine. I hardly ever use it, okay? What I use is this smaller machine here. This is a 4-gallon minute machine. It's electric start, and I built this for under $500. And I have a video showing you guys exactly how I built it. You can see it's being used quite a bit. Okay, it's not as clean as it used to be, but this is going on almost a year since I built it, and I've had 0 issues with it. So y'all, like I said, if you're looking at 4-gallon minute machines, you can find them for like $1,000, but they're not gonna have electric start on it. This one right here I built for $500, and I believe you can still build it for about the same price. It might be a little bit more, today. It's probably still about $500, but I'm gonna leave that video. You guys can go check it out if you want to build your own. So at the end of this video, or in the description, actually, in the description, go check out my description. I'll leave all the information. Just check it out. It'll say pressure washer build. Okay, so this machine right here, I have an external, this is called an external unloader valve. And what it does is it dumps water back to a buffer tank. Okay, so this hose is just dumping water. So anytime I let off the gun, water is going to dump back to the buffer tank, and it keeps your pressure washer nice and cool. So water is always running through the pump, even when you're off the trigger. Other pressure washers, when you let off the trigger, the water stops and it just sits in the pump and gets hot and gets hot and gets hot, and it burns your pump up. So this valve right here is very, very important. So my pressure washer is running off of this buffer tank. This will not work with this type of pressure washer unless it is gravity fed, and that's why this tank is up high. Okay, this is like a 30-gallon tank, 35-gallon tank, and I have an automatic shut-off valve inside of here. So once the water reaches this level, it automatically shuts off. There's videos on my channel that show you everything about this, so go check those out. That's a buffer tank video, but it explains how all this stuff works. All you need is a 4-gallon per minute machine. You need a surface cleaner, an 18-inch surface cleaner like that one. You need hoses. You don't need hose reels. I hardly ever even use my hose reels, as you can see. I'm gonna go over here and show you guys. So how I do it is, this hose right here is what I use for my customer's house. It's already plugged into my buffer tank. So all I do is I grab this out, I throw it on the ground, plug it into the customer's house. Sometimes I wrap it up on here if I feel like it, but usually I'm pretty lazy, and I just wrap it up and throw it on here. This here has 200 feet of high pressure hose on it. Okay, so I do use my hose reel for my high pressure hose. So once this is out of the way, I just grab my hose here, and you're good to go. You guys, I can't go through everything all in this video here, but I have other videos available on my channel that show you all the equipment that you need to get started, and it's like under $2,000 worth of stuff. You guys can get started and be, out there doing exactly what I'm doing. Everything that I'm going to use today is stuff that I bought my basic setup under $2,000. I'm going to use one surface cleaner. I'm going to use my 4-gallon per minute pressure washer, my hoses, my downstream injector valve, and my ball valve, my gun. These are all basic stuff. I have links for all this stuff I will leave in the description. If you guys want to check it out, it'll make it easier for y'all to purchase them. And this is exactly what I use every day out there to make money. All right, here we go. So we got this building here. A lot of woodwork. They want all this wood washed. I'm waiting for my wife to get here so she can help me carry this bench out. This is a nicely stained bench. I'm not going to ruin it, so we'll carry that out. But yeah, there's a lot of just dirt and stuff. It's a very old building. They said these 3 AC units here, they do not work, so I should be able to clean them up pretty good without any worry. I done taped off my electrical outlets. That's very important. All your door keys, like over here on this building, you see the blue tape. Tape up all your key outlets. You don't want to get any bleach in the keyhole. There's a big nest over here, waiting on my wife to get back. Look at them all. Anyway, there's a big wasp nest there. Like, a lot of this railing is gonna come pretty clean. They want all the sidewalks done. So it's this building here and this building here. This is a new building. This is new concrete. We're not touching any of this. But this building here is hardy board, and it's a lot of it's rotted. Like, I'll show you. This side's not too bad. You can see her, it's pretty dirty. I mean, a lot of bugs and stuff sticking everywhere. A lot of green, you know, a lot of growth. So it should be a pretty good before and after. I mean, look at the wood. It should turn out really good, I hope so. But yeah, this side over here is pretty bad as far as rotted. But I told them I'm gonna try my best not to get up in there. But they asked me if I can replace that, but I don't really do that kind of stuff. And they wanted me to paint it too. So man, this would have been a big job if I had equipment to do painting. But I'm not a painter, y'all. So, but for some of y'all out there, you know, if you add painting to your program, to your services, you would do pretty good. Because a lot of customers want me to paint, but I hate painting, so I'm not a painter. All right, let's go look at this building real quick, and I'm gonna get started. Look at this concrete. And I'll have before and afters at the end of this video to show y'all. This one's really dirty. This is also hardy board. Another wasp nest up there. Some damage here. And then the steeple, he wants that cleaned. The steeple's really, really bad. Look at all the organic growth on there. I don't know if you guys see, if you see all that organic growth up there. The steeple's really, really bad. Anyways, these sidewalks here aren't too bad. I'm still gonna do them, but. And then I got this wood up here. Building, so it's a pretty big job. I mean, nothing too big, but pretty good job. I got all this wood here. I'm concerned about all these flowers here, so you're really gonna wet these. Yeah, you're really gonna soak all this down real good. You don't want to get any bleach on these. All right, let's see how we're doing over here. We're getting ready to get started. I'm not going to take you guys through the whole day because that would take forever, but I will show you guys a couple of things throughout, and you know, before and afters and stuff. So today we're using the 4 gallon per minute machine. It is electric start. If you guys are interested in this machine here, I show you exactly how I built it. I built this one last year, so it has almost a whole season in now. You know, right now it's almost September, so I've been running this thing all season pretty hard. I do have a 10 gallon per minute. We're not going to use that today. So we're using the 4 gallon per minute. And that's all you need if you guys want to make some money. You don't need that 10 gallon per minute. Like, I hardly ever use it. I'm actually thinking about selling it. Like, I don't really never use it. The 4 gallon per minute is all you really need. It's just easier to control, but it's just easier to control and everything. Easier to control the soap. But I mean, don't get me wrong, on big jobs, that 10 gallon per minute comes in handy. But anyways, you holding down on the trigger? Yeah. All right, you gotta hold down on the trigger. So here's how I have to do it. I have to hold this like this while I pull the start. My chlorine, I get this from Walmart. This is 10% sodium hypochlorite. This is just chlorine for the pool. And I dump 1 gallon in there and about half a cup of Oxy. This is just laundry soap. I use it for surfactant, and it also gives it a really good smell. The customers like it. It's cheap. I've been using it for years. It works good. This side came out really good. Got rid of all that nasty green mold. That paint up there that was already peeling. I think I'm gonna cut it off. I'll get up there with a knife and cut the bad part off. They already know about all that. You can keep going. Yeah, that was already like that. But they are gonna be painting this building. They are aware of the rotten areas and the paint that's missing. So our job is just to get it prepped and ready for some paint. But definitely took all that green algae off. Look at the before picture. I'll put up that picture of that green algae. Like that green organic growth, that's all gone. Looks really good. All right, let's move on. Man, we're taking another break. We're having a hard time with the water keeping up, and that's with a 4 gallon per minute. And that's why I run a buffer tank. If we didn't have this buffer tank here, I'd be burning up my pressure washer, because this old well pump here, we're getting like 2.5 gallons per minute out of that tap there. So there's hardly any water pressure. So we're having to keep stopping, and that's with a 4 gallon per minute. You know, this tank right here is for the 4 gallon per minute. This one's for the 10. So again, like, I couldn't even use the 10 at this job if I wanted to. But once it's filled, we do pretty good. Like, we get a good 30 minutes of work out of it, and then I gotta stop again. There's just so much wood here. A lot of wood. But it's coming off pretty good. The building's still drying. It's all wet. That's why you see streaks in it. I just finished this whole side. That whole side's done. It's just drying. And then some of the wood. I'll show you what I got so far. So the steps aren't done yet, but this is up here. You can see a huge difference. So this is all done. That is not done, the steps. So you can see a big difference, huh? This railing here is done. This railing here is not done. It's kind of hard to tell with the sun. But anyways, you can tell from this. This is done. Look at the color of it. This is not done. I didn't do any of this yet. So this all needs to be pressure washed. This is done. Okay. And I am using bleach. Everyone says, don't use bleach. You can't do that. You can use bleach, y'all. I've been doing it for years. So, but I go back with oxalic acid as a wood brightener. And it also makes the bleach so it's not active no more. Like it counteracts the bleach. So anyways, once I'm all done here, this was with no wood brightener or anything yet. I'll go back and I'll pump spray my oxalic acid, let it sit for a little bit and just rinse it off, and it'll brighten it up real good. I hate doing wood. It takes forever. That's why you gotta hire you a helper, right? Yeah, hire. So you gotta hire yourself a helper so you don't have to do the wood on big wood jobs. She does more work than me, folks. But
this wood looks easy though.
But tell these guys out here, like I try to promote that they can do this stuff. I mean, this one job right here is paying more than most people make in 2 weeks. I mean, like if you had a regular, you know, minimum wage job, you know, $14 an hour or something.
Yeah.
No. But anyways, you guys can do it. Get out there. And we got this job right here by word of mouth. They actually came and knocked on my door. Somebody that goes to this church, he's like, I know someone who does pressure washing. And he tracked me down. We actually moved too, so he had to find my new house. Nobody knew where I lived. I mean, some people did. So anyways, he asked around and somebody said, oh, Dan lives off of such and such street now. And he said he just drove around till he seen my pressure washing trailers. But yeah, word of mouth, y'all. You start doing good jobs and people start referring you out. I do better on word of mouth than I do anything else. Especially for, I mean, we live in a pretty small town, so everybody kind of knows everybody, but not super small. I mean, there's like 10,000 people here. But now I do get a lot of my jobs. I drive into the big city, which is about 45 minutes away. So sometimes you have to make a drive, you know. We get most of our jobs, I can honestly say, most of my work is 45 minutes away. This one's close to home, so it's kind of why I brought y'all with me. But most of my work is 45 minutes away, but you make a lot more money in the city than I do in a small town, you know. I cut them a big break here because this is a church. And, you know, God's been really good to me, y'all. He's blessed me so much so I can give back a little bit to God. So I pretty much cut the price in half of what I would normally charge. So I look at this as, you know, just doing the Lord's work out here. Because like I said, man, you guys got to give thanks to God and his glory. Because he's blessed me. He's blessed me so much. And I couldn't be where I am without the Lord. So y'all make sure you got Jesus in your heart. But man, I am really talking a lot today. Waiting for this tank to fill up. That's how slow this water pressure is. Look how long it's taking me to fill up 30 gallons. I mean, wow. There's like hardly any water pressure. Like, I wonder if we run on that well dry. I'm telling you, we ain't got no water pressure. I don't know how deep that well is. Anyways, look at the difference of this. And we didn't do the steps yet, so you can kind of see. So if you walk up the steps, that's what color it used to be. Yeah, it looks really good. And then I got some oxalic acid when she's all done. It's like a wood brightener. We can use it for rust, you can use it for all sorts of stuff, but it's a good wood brightener and it'll brighten us up pretty good. All right, and that little panel there, that was already off. Actually, I found the screws for it. They had the screws laying out. Put them right there. But I guess somebody was doing some plumbing under there or something. So, hey, it's looking pretty good. All right, we pretty much, there we go. We pretty much got this whole building done. If you remember how nasty those AC units were, like they were covered in mold. So I'll show a picture. For example, I'll take this one right here. So you guys, I'll show you a picture of what it looks like before and after. Huge difference. This is rust here. That ain't gonna come off. But anyways, and then I surface clean up to this point. All right, so she's just doing a final rinse down, getting all the dirt, you know, that from surface cleaning and doing the deck. There's this deck. Hold on. The deck turned out pretty good. I mean, look at this deck compared to that deck. You know what I mean? Look at it. That's what this one used to look like. And now look at it. I mean, looks awesome. I hate doing decks, if I haven't told you that. I don't do very many of them because it takes up the whole day. But like I said, if it wasn't for it being a church, and I look at it like I'm doing this for God, you know. It's for God's house. Small little church here. And I believe the Lord will bless me for it. So I am not boasting by any means. Like I said, I don't like doing decks. So I don't like doing wood. All right, so we just went and took a quick lunch. All this is drying up really good. I finished all the sidewalks and everything. So pretty much this whole building here is finished, along with the sidewalks. And now we're gonna do this building. So we're gonna try to finish this all up today. We still gotta do all this wood, this building. And I'm gonna start off on the steeple, since that's really dirty. And I don't wanna do the steeple last and then have it all, you know, dirty up everything I just did. So I'm gonna start from the top and work my way down. I'll show you the steeple real quick, how dirty it is. And that sun's always in the way. But anyways, you can see it's really, really dirty. Like I said, the sun gets in the way of my videos, but anyways, we're gonna get this done. And then one more quick review. Got a couple wasp nests up there and stuff. You know, just knock all the dirt off. I mean, this building is pretty dirty. There's the back side. AC unit is on. If I can pull that breaker out. Yeah, I'll probably wait till that shuts off before I hit this real good. I hate working on air conditioning units with bleach, but usually I'll pull that breaker out to shut it down. But yeah, and we're gonna trim all this back a little bit so I can get a better job on the wood. Anyways, like I said, coming back from lunch, let's get back to work. Now I feel bad, man. I got my wife doing all the woodwork. I'm pretty burned out, man. This turned out so great. The pastor already came up and checked it out and he's like, oh, it looks so good. So he's gonna come back about 4 o'clock and bring me my check. So I said, well, it should be done by 4 o'clock. He can't believe it. He's like, you're gonna get all that done in one day? Yeah, I mean, we're getting pretty close on time. It's creeping up there, y'all. I don't even know what time it is, but I probably got another couple hours to go. I'll probably go to 5. I do have a soft wash set up but it's not, you know, the big fancy one that everybody uses. You know, it's just a little $200 build. All it is a tank with a 5 gallon per minute pump on it and a hose and a nozzle. And I use it when I do my post treat on the sidewalks and driveways. That's pretty much all I ever use it on. But I guess I'm gonna have to get it out to do a hotter mix on that steeple. I don't know if you can see it. But anyways, I've done 3 coats of just downstream and SH. I mean, it took a lot of it off. Maybe I'll just do a couple more. But if not, I'll have to break out my little soft wash setup. And like I said, it's nothing fancy. It's just a batch mix. I mix it up to the percentage I want, and that's what you get. It only holds like 10 gallons, maybe 15 gallons. I forget what it is, but I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But that's what I use on my sidewalks when I post treat. I don't pre-treat my sidewalks. Every once in a while I'll downstream them, but when I'm all done, I'll put a good 3.5% post treat on it, and that's what makes the big difference, y'all.
Is that mud on my face?
Nah, you're all right.
Oh.
Sunburn.
Huh?
You got sun on your face. Man, what a difference. Y'all, this is how we do it. And some people are gonna say, that's not right. Well, like I said, I don't do a lot of wood, so I do not like doing wood. You could put the surface cleaner on it, but then I have to do the edges with the wand. It's like you always get 2 different patterns. So if you do it all with the wand, and you hold that wand straight like she's doing, it's all gonna be the same. And it does a really good job. But yeah, I guess you could do the surface cleaner on it to be faster. So then the edges are gonna have lines. Like I said, it's hard to blend it in. But y'all do what you want. This is how I do it. And you can make the money. Look at that steeple. It's almost there, man. I sprayed it one more time. It's so much better than it was, but it's still not there. All right, that's it. I just post-treated all the sidewalks. So I don't want to walk on them yet, but they're pretty much dry, almost. A little bit up there still drying. But that's it, man. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. I mean, I know I wasn't taking you guys along the whole process. I don't know how guys do that. You know, some of you guys video record yourself. I guess a GoPro or something, but anyways, it is what it is. Y'all, I hope you guys do good with your pressure washing business. Remember, check out my other content. I got like trailer builds and stuff. I show you guys everything that I use on my trailer. So go check out those videos. I'll leave it at the end of this video, so you guys will see exactly which video I'm talking about. It's all the equipment that you need. And I leave links in there and stuff. So I'll do it on this video too. So in the description, there'll be links to everything on my trailer pretty much. Besides the 10 gallon per minute, you know, 4 gallon per minute is all you really need. So